Moving on. Now, after top government sources told CNN News 18 that the government is planning to bring the Waqf Act amendment bill in Parliament sometime this week, the opposition is fanning a dangerous narrative ploy by the government. That's what they are pushing. Minority Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju has told CNN News 18 that there has been continuous demand and representation from poor and common people, largely Muslims, including women, for a long time to make the Waqf property more transparent, efficient and beneficial for the community overall. Government sources have also told CNN News 18 that the main issue the Waqf Amendment Bill addresses is the verification of the properties by an authority, as right now there is no foolproof mechanism for it, nor is there any plan or any provision there that allows them to challenge this in court. Now, first up, let's take a look at some of the big amendments that the government is looking at. That's what we are reportedly given to understand in this entire Waqf Act amendment bill. First proposal is mandatory verification of the property claims by the Waqf boards. Secondly, proposal that there will be a mandatory verification on disputed properties of the Waqf boards. The third proposal is representation of women in the Central Waqf Council and state boards. The fourth proposal is scrutiny of limited appeal process as laid out in the Waqf Act. The fifth proposal is that the district magistrates will monitor Waqf properties to prevent misuse of the assets altogether. Now, why is there criticism of this existing act, the Waqf Act that came into force around in 1995 and was amended sometime in 2013? Now, despite vast land holdings, interests of elite Muslims is being served is one criticism. The other criticism is needs of marginalized, especially Pasmanda Muslims, is being neglected. The allegations of corruption and mismanagement plague the Waqf board. Poor utilization of assets, not enough income generated. The privileges create social tensions and affect sections of community. This is the argument, along with the kind of land holdings that the Waqf has and which many believe is second only to the government and the army. That's what we are given to understand. Joining us now, Vishnu Shankar Jain, advocate in the Supreme Court, and Waris Pathan, spokesperson of the AIMIM and also a practicing lawyer himself. My namaste and Jai Hind to the two of you. Thank you very, very much, gentlemen. It's between the two of you, the pros and cons of this entire move. How would you see this, Waris Pathan? Because the government has said that they have got written suggestions from all the stakeholders that they have engaged with, and there is largely a consensus that this needs to be amended, the Waqf Act. Your thoughts?
BJP and the RSS are lying, and we've said and I reiterate again today that their intentions are per se mala fide. They want to usurp up the Waqf property which is given to us by our ancestors. These are properties which are given as charities. There is a due process of law which is followed when a person wants to waqf his property. There is a notification issue that the government gazette comes out and that property is waqf. But the government wants to interfere into it and see to it that the Waqf board, which is an autonomous body itself, they want to take over the powers. They want to usurp up the Waqf property belonging to the Muslims. Now, already the Waqf Act 1995 is into existence. There was an amendment made in the Waqf Act in 2013, which is there. Waqf board in every state are there. Waqf tribunals are there. So if there is any land grabbing or dispute arising out of that, they will take care of it. But the Modi government wants to polarize the situation. They want to take over, usurp up the property, and they want to interfere into it. They want to take over the powers of the Waqf board. Now, if there is a dispute, allow me, if there is a dispute, that dispute can very well be settled by court, by judiciary. Now they say that there are no women's empowerment also they spoke. You and me, nobody has seen the bill just yet. Since yesterday we have been watching the TV, we have been seeing the social media, it is going on that a Waqf amendment bill is likely to be introduced. In Lucknow itself, the Waqf tribunal is headed by one lady, Sandhya Srivastava. So why do they want to get the bill? That's why I said the mana fide intention. Muslim personal law board has also stated that they object. We have also strong objections to it for any amendments to be made. It is an autonomous body. But they want to see to it that they take over. If there is a land grabbing of any Waqf property in the country, what steps have been taken by the BJP government to ensure that the land grabbers are removed, the mafias are removed? Why don't you give additional summary powers to the Waqf board to see to it that the land mafias are removed? No, many properties have been taken over by the government itself. The BJP, the leaders, they have possession of the property. In Maharashtra, I can show you several properties which they have taken over.
Right.
But interfering into it, doing amendment out of getting amendments done. This is totally per se unconstitutional. It is against the right to practice religion. It is against the constitution.
Right.
Against the intentions are the target is Muslim community. Anand, just 10 seconds, I will finish my point.
Ji.
The target is the Muslim community. The hatred which the BJP government has towards the community, they hate everything.
Vishnu Jain.
See, there is a very important saying in law: power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Now, if you have given so much unchecked and unfettered powers to a particular section of the society, it is bound to be misused. And it's the things which I'm going to point out in today's debate. It's no more like a perception which I'm trying to build. Actual situations have happened. If you will see the issue of Taj Mahal, that matter is pending where the Waqf board has misused its powers. Allahabad High Court's own land has been declared, a portion of land has been declared as a Waqf property. The matter went to the Supreme Court and ultimately it is solved now. Chandrasekhar Azad Park, Surat Municipal Corporation, Bet Dwarka, apart from that, Gyan Vyapi, Mathura Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi. These are the instances where these are the instances where the Waqf board has misused its power. And how this power is misused, there are certain provisions, Anand, which I want to highlight. The first provision is section 40 subclause 1 and 40 subclause 3, where the Waqf board has the power to declare any land as Waqf property. No such power is there with any other section of the society. Apart from that, the definition of the Waqf Act, which is there in the Islamic principle under Mullah's Muhammadan law and Bailey's digest, both these definitions say that a person can do a Waqf if it belongs to his own ownership. Now, this definition has been diluted under section 3 subclause R of the Waqf Act, and Waqf by user concept has also been brought in. So these concepts and this definition itself is against the basic Islamic tenets. Apart from that, under section 4, 5 and 6, this survey happens. The cost of this survey is borne by the state government, which is in clear violation of Article 27. This survey, earlier the law was that non-Muslims, this survey notification will not apply to non-Muslims. That law has been amended in 2013 and section 6 has been amended to bring in the word person aggrieved instead of word person interested. And recent judgment of Supreme Court has come in Rashid Wali Beg, where it says that if a non-Muslim also, this survey will apply and he has to come to the Waqf tribunal. The constitution of Waqf tribunal, which Waris Bhai was just referring to, itself is unconstitutional because the qualification to be a member of the Waqf tribunal, one of the compositions says that you have to be a known Islamic scholar. Now, you won't find any other court in the country where the criteria is that you must know Sanatan law or Shastrik Niyam to be a judge in a tribunal. Apart from that, Waqf tribunal itself is in violation of Article 323A and 323B, because Article 323A and B provides the subjects on which tribunals can be formed. This Waqf tribunal does not fall in that subject. It is in clear violation of those articles. Apart from that, the Waqf tribunal and the Waqf board has been given as a parallel government. वारिस भाई was saying कि वक्फ की जमीन पे encroachment हो रहा है. सर, वक्फ को power encroachment हटाने की under section 54 and 55 of the Waqf Act, if there's an encroachment on the Waqf land, Anand, you must see the provision. The chief executive officer can direct the person who has done the encroachment to remove the encroachment. If he does not do so, he can take the order from the Waqf tribunal, and ultimately the DM and the SSP are bound to carry out the orders of the Waqf tribunal as well as the Waqf board, which are passed under section 54 and 55. So these are the draconian provisions of law. Apart from the Limitation Act 1963 does not apply to the Waqf Act, to the Waqf board. If I have to come to the court, Waris Bhai will argue in Krishna Janmabhoomi case that why Vishnu Jain is challenging the compromise of 12th October 1968, why it is so late. For them, there is no such limitation. The limitation which is for me for 3 years, 6 years and 12 years, this law of limitation, they are exempted under section 107. So you have discriminated between gods also, so far as the Waqf Act is concerned. So it's a clear, and the provisions which I am citing, Anand, before you, these are the provisions which make Waqf Act very, very draconian. And we are only saying that let Waqf Act solve the disputes between Shia and Sunni, which was the original provision under 1913 and 1923, but it should not apply to non-Muslims.
Waris Pathan.
Well, my learned friend Vishnu Jain is contradicting himself. He says that the Waqf board and the Waqf tribunal had got the powers to remove the encroachment and everything. So if they've got the powers, then why does the Modi government want to interfere into it and take back the powers? You should increase their powers, give them summary powers to ensure, to see to it that those mafia who are trying to land grab the Waqf property are removed from those places. You should give them not amendment, but give them powers. But the Modi government, their intentions are malified. If they want to see to it that the property of work belonging to the Muslims, orphans and widows, that is taken away. And now Vishnu Jain also quoted about law. The Supreme Court is clear. Supreme Court has said, once a waqf, always a waqf. You cannot change the nature and title of it. You have no powers to sell the property. You have no powers to create third party right or interest in the property. So it is clear cut. And he says that work board members do not. Work board members are appointed by the state government. In Maharashtra also work board members have been appointed. Work tribunal has been appointed by the state government in Lucknow. And as I quoted, the lady is appointed as a work tribunal chairperson in UP. Her name is Sandhya Srivastava. But why do you want to interfere into it? Secondly, Anand, what my learned friend said, he quoted certain judgments, he quoted certain sections. Let me tell you, Waqf Act 1995 is into existence. If somebody is aggrieved by the order passed by the work board or by the work tribunal, definitely you can approach the High Court, go in appeal, file a review petition. Who stops you? There is law for that.
The intention which Waris Pathan is trying to cast upon us is that we are trying to usurp Waqf land. No one is trying to usurp Waqf land. We are trying to protect our properties from being usurped by the Waqf board. Now, why I am saying is, please see the definition of Waqf under section 3 subclause R. Waqf means the permanent dedication by any person of any movable or immovable property for any person, for any purpose recognized by the Muslim law as pious, religious or charitable, and includes Waqf by user. Now, this definition has been manipulated, Anand, because the definition should have been, which was there under the Mullah's Muhammad law and Bailey's law, that which Waris Bhai will also admit, that it has to be your own property for being a Waqf. You should have clear ownership. You can't dedicate someone else's property, and precisely this is what is happening in Taj Mahal, in Surat Municipal Corporation, in Bet Dwarka, in Allahabad High Court's case. Apart from that, in Bangalore Seedga Maidan case and Mathura Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi Ram Mandir and Gyanvapi, these things are going on. So it is no more some purely legal debate or academic debate which is happening. These powers are being misused. And let me ask you, Waris Bhai was saying that Vishnu Jain is contradicting himself. Sir, I am not contradicting myself. My point is very, very simple, that the powers which have been given to you are in clear violation of Article 14 and 15 as well as Article 21 and 27 of the Constitution of India, because such powers which have been given to the Waqf board are not with any other section of the society. The survey which is conducted, वारिस भाई से मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ, जो वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी का सर्वे होता है अंडर सेक्शन 8 of the Waqf Act, just a minute sir, under section 8 of the Waqf Act 1995, the cost of that survey is borne by the state government. ये क्या आर्टिकल 27 का वायलेशन नहीं? क्या कोई is there? Do you have any example?
No, may I report?
Where a survey is being conducted.
Okay.
Allow me, Vishnu. Allow me to make my point, Vishnu. Just Anand. Just 2 minutes, Anand. Just allow me to make my point. Just now, my learned friend Vishnu Jain said, Sunni Shia dispute is going on the Waqf. That will be settled by the Waqf board and the Waqf tribunal. Why are you worried about? Why we say that the government wants to usurp the properties? That when in 2022, when they got a notification for survey of Waqf property in UP, that time also we had raised an objection because we had an apprehension that the government's intentions are malified. They want to usurp the Waqf property belonging to the community Muslims. Now, for example, we said that if there is a 30-acre land, Anand, if there is a land 30 acres, for example, I'm just giving you an example for your understanding. Out of that, they will say 10-acre land belongs to the cemetery. Okay, Kabristan ka 10-acre land hai. The rest 20-acre land which is lying there idle, which is the Waqf property itself, which is covered under that, the government will take that land. They will say we want to use it for our purposes. Then what will happen? So this is nothing but the government's intention to take over the land because they feel that so much land belongs to the Waqf. Our ancestors have given their
no, the ancestors
for the benefit of the Muslim community, which can be used by the community. What problem do you have?
Ancestors can give. Ancestors can give property that clearly belongs to them and that's for which they have a clear title to serve. Ancestors cannot take.
So who is giving your property in Waqf?
No. Ancestors have given forcefully taken away land which no clear title
Nobody
and they have
has the right
left
to give somebody else's
so that there
property
is a
as Waqf.
shield given to that. That's the allegation. So that there is a
let it
shield
be
and
very
that cannot be
clear.
cannot be challenged in the courts. The argument is that we don't want to take any land. We want to just ensure that no land is taken
if there is a
and land which has been wrongfully converted to Waqf. and it is being done illegally even to a common normal Muslim individual whose land has been forcibly taken away should get a recourse, and there should be clear title, and there should be amendments and safeguards put in place so that it can be legally challenged.
If a land is wrongfully converted into Waqf,
we have to wait for the amendments that are brought in.
The disputes can be very well settled by the courts of law.
Women representation in the Waqf board, representation in the Waqf board, Muslim women has not happened, and across section, across all firqas of Islam in India, are they all equally represented in the Waqf board? These are all questions that remain. We'll see what the amendments aim to address. Waris Pathan and Vishnu Jain, thank you very much. I've run out of time. We're going to take a very, very short break on that note. Stay with us here on The Right